And the best and the greatest day to be alive is today. And welcome to the Wise Hour. I'm your host, Jay Mullane, also known as Wise, where we be dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. Family, if you're dealing with loss in family, loss of purpose, loss of yourself, I have a end of a life coach that can, you know what, help you change that mindset. Just change that mindset. I want to say just a little change that mindset to something that will allow you to move forward in life. So I definitely want you to tune in today. You don't want to miss this show. You definitely don't want to miss it. But before we get into the show, I need your guys to subscribe, hit the like button, and definitely share. We're our family here. So we wanted to make sure we get this information out to help others. So I'm so thankful for everybody who subscribed. I'm thankful for people who leave comments. I need y'all guys to leave comments. So we're so thankful for everybody who's participate with this. So with that being said, family, let's go.
At the Wise Hour, we break through the night, bringing knowledge fire, so hold on tight. Every episode, a story to unfold. We're turning every minute into gold.
All right, we dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. Family, I got this amazing inner life coach here, but she's more than an inner life coach. She can get your life restarted again, and you will be able to live legacy. Come on now. We got the amazing Patti from New York in the house today. What's going on, Patti?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wise. This is great to be on your show. Thank you for the invitation. This is an awesome opportunity to talk about legacy. I am Patti from New York. I am a certified end-of-life coach, founder and CEO of MishuGram, a global solution to cope with grief, mourning at the speed of life. I'm also a human rights consultant because I'm here to remind you that you have the right to grieve the way you want to, and nobody could take that right away from you. I am here to bring death to life, and through legacy, you will recover because everybody wants to be remembered, including you in the land of the living. And those that transitioned as well, you're going to honor them, we're going to remember them, and we're going to pay it forward through our living life. And that's what I got for you. You know, I like to say that coffee needs Patti. I am a catalyst. I am somebody who is going to give you a higher vibration, elevate you, motivate you, and inspire you to keep living your purpose, because grief is the lowest vibration we could have according to Stanford University, and it's right up there with depression and fear and despair. And you know what? A love, appreciation, knowledge, empowerment is the highest vibration we could have according to Stanford University, and that's what I'm here to do, to elevate you. And we could get more into that in a minute, but Wise, I'm going to bring it back to you.
Oh, dropping 24 karat gold bars in the family. I got a story. Here. So I met this amazing woman 2 years ago at that time was the Power Network conference. So we all got together. We were celebrating our friend Delano A. Johnson, who became president of that amazing event. So we always down at a restaurant across the street having dinner and having a great time. And one of our colleagues, our friends, her name was Gwen. She wasn't there. She was still at the Vintage Center. So she wanted initially to come over, but she didn't know how to get there. So Patti immediately, said, "I got it," and she got up and she went on out. But we were still having a conversation with Gwen, and she said, "You know what? I'm not gonna come after all." So I said, "You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get Patti real quick." So Patti, she just took a few steps out of the front door, so it wasn't that far. So by the time I got to the front door, I looked. Okay, it's 4 lanes of road plus a medium, and I said, "Well, I can catch her." By the time I got across the first street, the woman across got all the way across the next street, through the door, up the escalator, and gone. And she was determined that she's gonna meet her mission, and she evinced that person, Miss Gwen, to actually come and fellowship with us. That's the power connection. This is the energy this woman has that will motivate you to, even you feel down, you feel like life is over with, that will motivate you and say, "You know what? I can do this. We can do this together." That's why we call her Patti from New York, and we love her so much. So thank you for being on the show. I had to give an example, a real life example of me experience. I no problem get the Patti, and the Patti was gone because you were determined to make that happen, and it did happen.
I was a girl on a mission, but you know why I like to say Patti from New York? A long time ago in the New York Times, Jerry Seinfeld said, New York is the heartbeat of the world. And I love that phrase, and I use it all the time now, and I stand by that phrase. New York is the heartbeat of the world, because no matter where you are, you know New York, and it's a thriving city, right? And I tell you this, why I like to use it is because if you're in the land of the living, okay, as much as MishuGram stands to honor those that have transitioned, right? We that platform, that's the foundation, is to honor those that have transitioned. That's the foundation of MishuGram. However, the person who is using MishuGram as a resource to cope with grief, well, guess what? You're in the land of the living. Your heartbeat is still beating. And I'm here to remind you. And if your light is dim, which happens with grief, because like I said, it's one of the lowest vibrations we could have as a human, is along with grief, is along there with fear, despair. These are really low vibrations. However, if you're still breathing, you're still ticking. However, your light is dim. So what Patti does, I like to be a catalyst, and I use Science 101. I love my God too. I love God out loud now. That took me a couple of years. I used to love God secretly in the closet. And again, MishuGram is non-denominational, and that was my I will say, I had like this fear mindset, like, oh no, people won't be able to use it if I talk about God. And then I had this like aha moment, like, hey, listen, I'm bringing good intentions. I love science and I love God, and it works. And I always say the greatest question I ask, and I think anybody could ask, is it working for you? Is it working for me? Not one size fits all, but God works for me, so I'm going to provide it as a resource. And any of the resources that I provide, I look at it as a toolbox. You're not going to use a screwdriver if you need a hammer, right? However, you might need the screwdriver. You might, so I'm providing, God might be the screwdriver, the science might be the hammer. Try it out for size. That's how I operate. I operate like a very like outside the box mindset. I'm not your average coach. I am not your average coach. What makes me different is that I blend both. Some people stay very formal, even if they go in the lane of religion or spirituality, or I don't know what else, other names you want to call it. However, some people only stay science, depending on the coaching business. But I like to blend. And just make a whole new, it's alchemy, right? It's alchemy at its best. And this is what I teach, is that we have the power. And I'm not saying it's easy, but emotions, and I'm going to bring it back to you, but I'm in a vein right now. Emotions, because I provide, emotional equity. I help you with emotional equity, right? And with emotional equity, again, going from the lowest to the highest, there's a lot of in between. You got hopelessness, you got optimism, you got contentment, boredom, frustration. Those are all in the middle. The thing about emotions is they're almost omnious. That's why I love using the word bittersweet, because emotions are if you turn the light off, the light on, light off, it's faster than that. It's faster than turning a light or light off. Again, but when we're in our mind and we're feeling a certain way because we're holding on to those thoughts, then our emotions seem to be stagnant. It seems like we're stuck. We seem like we're in quicksand. We can't get out of it. It's paralyzing, and then you just get deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole. And I'm here to remind you, it doesn't have to be that way. It's not easy because of conditioning, right? We have to recondition ourselves. Now I'm going into my coaching, so I'm sorry, I'm going to bring it back to you. I don't want to get too out of it, but like the point is that emotions, can change instantly. It's a choice. It's not easy, but once you build new habits, you build new conditions. And then when you catch yourself in that quicksand, you could come out a little faster. And it's about recovery, right? I'm not saying your tire's never going to get flat again, but I'm telling you, you're going to carry a spare in your trunk. Back to you, Wise.
Come on, she dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. Come on now, you see why we call her Pat from New York, man. I tell you right now, she will fire you up, she will get information, and she'll give you some true value in your life. All right, so we know the name of this podcast is Transform Grief into Power. And then we're going to do what? You're going to reveal how to live your legacy now. We're talking about now, family. So, we ain't worrying about tomorrow. We're talking about now. This one thing. Before we deep dive, I got some questions for you. I noticed a couple things. So, first of all, I noticed that lovely pen that's sitting on your blouse right there. What that pen about?
Oh, thank you for asking. Okay, it's hard to see it on camera. It is a little butterfly with the logo. Everybody wants to be remembered, right? And when I first started, developing MishuGram, and I was trying to. It's funny, how we second guess ourselves. But when I was trying to, for lack of better words, convince my friends and family, about the mission, right? I just said, well, everybody wants to be remembered. And that was it. That was like the aha moment. Everybody wants to be remembered. But the pin is a legacy pin, and this right now it's a new item, and I wear it proudly. And any donors that donate $100 or more, they will be the proud owners of the legacy pin, I call it. And you could only get it that way. They're not available any way else unless you are $100 or more donor to our app. So on the app, I do accept donations, which is a little brazen of me. I'm not one to ask for money ever.
No,
ever. I do not. I never do. I really never do. And talking with my developers and wanting to put bells and whistles, and the cost is really expensive if anybody's ever done app developing.
Yes.
And I kind of said, I'm just going to have to start slow. And the developer said, well, why don't you have a donate button? I said, well, I'm not a non-for-profit. I'm a Prosper for Purpose company. I am a philanthropist. I'm a Paul Harris fellow. I listen, I'm not going to tell you all the stuff I donate to because my husband might freak out. but
hold on. Mike, don't listen. Pause yourself for about a moment. Don't listen for 1 minute. Okay.
Earmuffs. But the truth is, I said, you know what? This is for a good cause. Like, I could be charging for this app. Maybe nobody would pay for it. But the point is, I offer it as a free service. And again, that's part of my human rights advocacy. There are certain rights, the right to learning, the right to, believe what you want, the right to have housing. There's a lot of human rights, but I focus on Article 18 under the Universal Human Rights, which is being allowed to have your own beliefs, so and a few other. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm not doing a coaching session, but the idea is, I said, I have the right to have a donation button. Just because I'm not a non-for-profit, I still am a Prosper for Purpose, so I'm always paying it forward. I'm always paying forward. In fact, I believe, and I coined this phrase, it might be out there somewhere, but I never heard it before I said it, is that the purpose, the purpose supersedes the profit. And yeah, okay. We all need to eat, right? We all need to eat. We all need to eat. I like to go on vacations. I like, to have a full belly. But my purpose, right? But my purpose genuinely means more, and somehow the laws, and I love that they're called laws, because they're the laws of physics, right? So the laws of physics is also a law of reciprocity. And you don't have to believe it. You can believe it or not. It's a law. So it's just like gravity. You don't have to believe in gravity, but if you throw something up, I promise you it's going to come down.
Oh yeah, it comes down.
And another law of science. That's why I love to, and I share resources when I do my coaching. I usually will tell you, where it came from, what, because it's important. Or I'll tell you, this is a testimony. It worked for me, so it might work for you. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm showing you how to fish. You don't have to fish. You might not even like fish. I'm just going to show you how to fish in case you want to fish someday. And that's my theology. But again, science 101, every action has an equal or opposite attraction. Okay.
Okay.
And again, here on Earth, again, science 101, and we'll drop it with this one. A coin has two sides. And it's like time and space. They cannot be separated. Time and space are together. That's why physical takes time. Physical is different. So your emotions come first. So your emotions can affect your physical. And this is where we want to catch it. This is where you want to catch it. Now, I'm not talking about like, listen, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm a certified end of life coach. So I did learn from medical professionals on certain things for state of mind, right? State of mind. However, because I love science so much and the laws of physics, and I love to study quantum mechanics. That's the word. I love to study quantum mechanics, and I've read so many books, and theology, Neville Goddard. I mean, so many books. It's ridiculous. I have like my Audible books. I have over 240, 50 books through the years. I'm not saying in 1 year. I'm talking, I'm in my 50s. However, I can't get enough of it, right? I can't get enough of it. And I like to teach what I know, because knowledge is power. And again, knowledge, power, love, appreciation. Even if you appreciate the knowledge, you already at the highest vibration, according to Stanford University, you could Google it yourself, a human could have. And now your light is on fire. And you can also, from just like, okay, if you go to a Beyonce concert, right? And she's in the building, there's a vibe. I'm not saying I'm Beyonce, no. I'm just saying like
I love it. Go ahead. I'm loving it.
That was OTT. But I just want to put a point. Like, I remember going to Billy Joel once, and I knew he was in the building, and I was like, oh my God. And you could feel it. Or you're going to like a good game, and you're going to the Knicks. You feel it in the air. You feel the vibration. Before the game even starts, before the concert even starts, that's what I'm talking about. But I do have a good story about how this all started because the act of storytelling creates memories or established traditions. But for me, I'm telling you a story about the foundation of MishuGram, if you want to hear it.
Okay, yeah. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to ask you. The first thing is this journey. You was a salon owner, then you became an inner life coach. So yes, I need to know the journey. What was that pivotal moment that led you to create MishuGram?
Okay, so I was a hairdresser, from like day one, because I went to vocational school and I got my beauty license, and then the money that I could have used for college, me and my mom came together and we became business partners, and we opened a salon. The salon is still standing. I retired last year. I was there for 33 and a half. I love the half years. And we went through a lot in that salon because we were also flooded by Sandy, 5 feet of water, and it's still standing today. So it's definitely a legacy in itself. It is called Patti's Place because I said, well, Mom, I'll only open a store with you if we can name it Patti's Place. And somehow Patti got her way. It is the catchy name, it's an easy ring. So 20 years in, had loyal customers till the day I retired. Very blessed and grateful for that. Loved what I did always and forever. And through the 20 years, Wise, I come to realize a common trait that through the years, these loyal customers, hundreds of times through the 20 plus years, they were going to bury somebody. They were going to a memorial. They were missing their loved one's birthday in heaven, stories like these. So while I was making them look beautiful, I gave them the grace and the space to talk about it. Just talk about it. And as they were leaving, not only did they look good from the outside, their energy from the inside was transformative. I'm not saying like, oh, like I made them magically better. I'm not a fixer. I'm a helper. I'm not a fixer. I'm a helper. I helped people by giving them grace and space to talk about stuff it never feels like it's the right time to. And then I saw their face change. And I was like, okay. Now, Patti was never on social, never on Instagram, never on Facebook, barely text, email once in a blue moon. I was a hairdresser. I was very happy being a hairdresser. And then when I went home, I was very happy being a mom and wife. Okay. And that was easy for me in hindsight. While I was working those long hours with no lunch break, you know, I bleed too. I was getting tired, but nonetheless, in hindsight, I little did I know that becoming like doing this is like 24/7, but I can't get enough of it, and I make it 24/7 because I just love what I do so much. Even if I'm so tired and I have one eye open, I love it. I love it. I know that could resonate with you, but the idea is, I kept saying, it took about 7 years because I did inventory again in hindsight. About 7 years, I talked about it. MishuGram didn't have a name. I said there has to be something for people to. There has to be, and I know funeral parlors have it, but it's like buried deep in the website. Pardon the pun. I know that's a little, but the idea is it's not like a native app. It's not the same. It's just not the same. And it's very cluttered and a lot of traffic too. You know. So okay. I said, there should be something for that. There should be something for that. Is there? There should be. Is there? And this was the question I was asking for years. And I would tell people, is there? Should there be? Okay. 7 years go by. And I'm talking about it again because I would randomly talk about like there should be something for when people, pass away. They could talk about it and share. And I know you could do it on Facebook, and people do, and you could do it on Instagram, and people do. But it gets diluted. Some people are vulnerable, and it loses its like touch. And listen, when I was branding, I did a lot of it, and I still do because I want people to come over to MishuGram, and that's today's world, right? We're never going to get away from it, but I wanted an exclusive place that people felt safe, because you could also do it privately or publicly. And this is before I became an end-of-life coach. Okay, the end-of-life coach was just like a byproduct of MishuGram. MishuGram is really the heart and the core and the foundation of everything I do. If it wasn't for MishuGram, I would not be an end-of-life coach. I would not be a human rights consultant. So the idea is, Wise, it was all about MishuGram, but little did I know what I was getting myself into. Little did I know. So one good day, I'm talking about this thing that they should have, and I can't believe, do they have it? And do they have it? Because I really wasn't an internet person either. Well, my older daughter said, Mom, why don't you just do an app? Now, I knew about Facebook and I knew about Instagram. I didn't know they were called apps. I just thought it was social media. I didn't know they were called apps. I thought it was like internet. That's what I thought it was called, right? So I say to her, what's an app? That's what I said to her. What's an app? She goes, Mom, Facebook, that's an app. Oh, that's an app. Oh, okay. And now she put a seed in my head. Well, what does Patti do? By this point, because so many years went by, I have a smartphone now, right? Just by chance, right? Kairos moment. So I asked good old Google, hey Google, how do you do an app? Well, next thing you know, I start, talking to developers, pitching my idea. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'll have to get it. I have a drawing of. It's over there, but it's fine. I have a sketch drawing of a Sharpie of me doing the butterfly, and the butterfly is very intentional. And maybe another time, if I ever come back, I will get into that, because the butterfly has its own story. And Richard Bach says a beautiful quote: what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, a God calls the butterfly. And it's about transformation. So I picked the butterfly, but I picked the butterfly from not your usual frontal angle. I picked it from a side angle, and then I put the MUG. It's very like it's like embedded in there. It's like you really have to like find it. It's like one of those puzzles. Like, can you find Waldo? And I did that on purpose. The butterfly is very intentional, from the white outline to the black core. Because when somebody dies, there's a void there, right? But the soul and the aura is there. So it's very intentional, the butterfly. It has 3 wings because of Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Again, the butterfly, there's so much to that butterfly. And then next thing you know, I didn't know what to do. So I still didn't even have a social presence because I never put my picture on. I never put my name on. I just was doing MishuGram butterfly. And then somehow, again, by the grace of God, I collide with Kimberly Easton, God rest her soul. She was a public figure. She just happened to like what she saw, and she was a strategic advisor. She was a news anchor in Philadelphia for years and then became her own strategic advisor. She had a heart attack, and I mourned her. I still mourn her, actually, but she's with me. And I remember her telling me, "You're putting the cart before the horse. You have no social presence. If you look you up on Google, you're not even hundreds in. Nobody could find you. I just happened to find you on LinkedIn, so I'm glad I did, because I really love what you're doing, because I had so much loss." And next thing you know, she set me straight. So I own the page on Google. I do, and I'm also a Google partner now. But I own the page on Google, not only my name, but my company, my brand. And that's thank you, Kimberly Easton. And she taught me a thing or two. And then on Clubhouse, on the House of Creativity, with Dr. Glenn and Dr. Maria, they're together. They're a team, right? Not sure if they're officially married or not, but they are. And they did the wellness segments, right, back in 2021, early 2021, like February until. And then she was a professor, professor, and at an accredited college that had a certification to be an end-of-life coach. And that's how I became an end-of-life coach. So if it wasn't for the THOC and the collaboration of partnership, I would not be an end-of-life coach, because I never even knew you could do that. So that complemented what I did, even though I had the human resource experience with my clients, with the 33 and a half years of client experience. And, when you're a beautician, you're more than just a hairdresser. Okay. Let's just, we used to say in the business, we're underpaid therapists. So I really thought like I knew it all, but I liked the ring of like, okay, well, I like the certified ring, right? Well, guess what, Wise? I didn't know what I didn't know. I learned things that were really important. And it's really important that people are validated, and you don't need to fix them. They just need to be heard and seen. You don't need people say to me, now in my grief room, we talk about like grief etiquette. And one of the grief etiquettes is, there's a lot of grief etiquettes. But this is stuff like that was new to me just when I thought I knew it all, because I was older, right? And not that I'm that old, but like I really had that mindset, like, oh yeah, I know people, I've talked about this is why I'm doing this. And no, I learned myself taking these courses. And even now in my grief rooms, I'm learning from testimony. So that's what I share as a coach. I share either testimony because it's working, or resources that are from medical or professionals, and that's how I operate, and then again, I'm a passionate person, so I love hard.
Hey everyone, this is a quick interlude right here. Hey, I got a sponsor, got a message for you, so check it out.
Speakers, entrepreneurs, professionals, doctors, and lawyers. We are excited to invite you to join Dr. Anthony D. Shannon, that's me, to what? Leaders Live Generously Summit. It's a premier virtual event taking place on February the 17th, 18th, and 19th, 2025. This 3-day summit is crafted to inspire, equip, and empower visionary leaders like you with the information, strategies, and inspiration to win in 2025. At Leaders Live Generously Summit, you'll have the opportunity to transform your leadership, gain insight and practical tools to break through limiting beliefs, soar in your industry, receive cutting-edge strategies that will set you up for success in 2025. We want you to thrive in 2025. Connect with community of like-minded leaders who are committed to living and leading generously. This summit is your chance to come alive and step into your next level of influence, next level of impact, Don't miss out on this transformative experience. Join us and thrive in 2025. To register, go to leaderslivegenerouslysummit.com. We look forward to seeing you soar in your leadership in 2025.
All right, fam. You do not want to miss this experience. So definitely register today. Go to the website and go ahead and follow, join, whatever you need to do, because this opportunity would change your life. So we are thankful for Dr. Anthony D. Shannon for providing this information for us. So, of course, you know what he's doing. He's dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. So, family, that's the end of this interlude. So we're going back to the
show. So yeah, that's me. That's what we do. And we became close when back in the day when I used to go at night. I don't have those rooms at night anymore, but I used to call it the Legacy Cafe. Now it's called the room I host. And again, it's a public service because I am a philanthropist at heart. So it's time, talent, or treasure, right? So I'm giving my time, and my time is out of my book here, my Live Your Legacy. I know you got it too. And one of my chapters.
Oh yeah. We're gonna talk about it in a second. Go ahead.
Okay.
But show. Go ahead. And then one of
my chapters, I said, you know what? I'm gonna use this as my room title. For now, maybe for a year, maybe forever. But morning for morning. Because when you wake up, it sets a momentum. Again,
yes.
Right? An object in motion stays in motion. And when we wake up, according to science, it is the slowest movement when we first wake up. So whatever thoughts you start in motion, it's just going to be more of it. So if you could now morning, some people are like, oh, why would you want to start with morning? Grief and mourning are interchangeable. They work together. However, they're not necessarily the same. Grief is a low vibration. Mourning is an action. So mourning can be in a low vibration, but it also could be in a high vibration. Appreciation. Yeah. Appreciation is mourning. Talking about stories that are good, that bring laughter. Okay. Even if you miss them. And the pain, that's a mere measurement of how much you love them. Okay, so yeah, I get really into it, but mourning, I want to bring this to a global awareness, and through legacy, I'm bringing to a global awareness, and I could get into that too. We got the 5 stages that have been around since like the 70s, right? From Suzanne Kubler, who wrote Denial, Anger, Bargaining, Depression, Acceptance. Then we got David Kessler coming in hot. Right? He's been on Jay Shetty. He's been on Oprah. He wrote Finding Meaning, and he brings stage 6, Finding Meaning. He's a grief expert. Read his books. Love him. He's great. He's all over YouTube. Love him. Finding Meaning. That's like a recovery, right? Now, Patti from New York is going to bring the light at the end of the tunnel. The 7th stage of grief. Okay, I call it the recovery stage, and that's legacy. So grief through legacy, not only through remembering them, but remembering you as well. How do you want to be remembered? Okay.
Come on.
So that's
4 karat gold bars. Come on, Patti. Come on. She's telling the truth and dropping like it's hot and everything above. Come on. Coming in hot. Come on. I wish I could play that right now. But come on, Patti. And she mentioned something, family, I wanted to let you know, because she mentioned the many different platforms that she had to learn how to use, and she used it to her efficiency. And one of them was when Clubhouse, and she still uses Clubhouse. But the thing is, she had what was called the Legacy Cafe, which is still a part of the MissyGram. And I used to attend a lot because those who are aware, my book Where, and I had said so many times in the program before that she got so she understands. So, and she gonna understand a little bit more.
I got your book.
I see. I appreciate that. So that's love. So family, go ahead and get yourself a digital copy today. The link will be down below the like button. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. When she had the Legacy Cafe, I used to attend a lot, and I was able to work out some of the challenges I had with my dad there. I was still in that transformation stage of my life where I was actually finding my purpose. That's Pat, how am I finding your purpose? And she coaches me. And it got to the point when I got healed, I actually, through the Legacy Cafe, that was how I learned how to embrace my middle name. My middle name is Mullane. So that's why I came and said, my name is Jay Mullane. also known as Wise. So this one right here, I give a whole lot of credit for allowing me to be able to come to the platform, open up the doors, allow me to work through my grief process, and also to embrace the healing in it. So that was so powerful when you have a coach like Patti that understands and willing to work with you and allows, she brings the energy, but she also allows you to be able to share, allow you to be able to bring forth your energy as well. And like she said, what she does, she blends it together. I don't know y'all guys heard when she said she blends it together. I say, like, I use a scientific term, she's the gravity. What she does, she bring it back down. You know what I'm saying? When you think of flow away, gravity will always take hold and bring it back in. So what she do, she bring it back in. And so therefore there is a center, always a center where you can work from. So that's why she's so amazing. Now, with that being said, she did mention some amazing book, which I have right here myself, right here, Live Your Legacy, a new spin on mourning. So with that being said, Patti, let me drop this to you. Your book, Take a New Spin on Mourning. What inspired you to challenge traditional perspective on grief?
Because again, I want to bring awareness. People, even I'll give you an example. When somebody new comes into Clubhouse, which whoever doesn't know, it's a social media app. It's an Audible social media app. So when you come in, you're talking live. Okay, you don't see each other. It's not video, but it's like radio live. And I host these grievance chat rooms. And like I said, the title is Mourning for Mourning. And when I see somebody new, because we have frequent flyers, people that come in, and it's not always like they come in because they need to have grief recovery. They come in because they like the conversation. They want to support other people. You become a fellowship, right? So anyhow, when somebody new comes in, I ask them, oh, what brought you here? I'm just curious. Was it fat fingers? Because the app is so sensitive that your finger could accidentally bring you into a room that you didn't expect to be in. But kidding around, I said, well, is it fat fingers, or are you going through grief right now? Do you want to just say hello? Was it the title? And every now and again, somebody was like, oh yeah, the title, and a lot of people just assume, and I was one of them before I became, knowledged and had the right information about the word mourning. And that's why a new spin on mourning, because mourning doesn't have to be sad and depressing. I'm not saying it's easy. Even though emotions are instantaneously, still not easy. Sometimes it's not even easy for somebody to get out of bed. Sometimes it's easy for somebody. Sometimes it's not even easy for somebody to like brush their teeth. When you're in a state of grief, I even have it in my first page of my book. If you are really having a really hard time, seek medical attention. Hey, listen, I years ago, I was going through some personal challenges, and I said, you know what? I think I need to see a therapist, because I started to have like confusion, and I was feeling some sort of way, and I was having a hard time. I didn't want to get out of bed. This was going a long time ago, over a decade ago. But like, the idea is, it served me well. That's why we have medical professionals. Sometimes we can't just rely on a coach for accountability or guidance. Sometimes we need medical attention, because you can be a danger to yourself or others, and I'm not saying I went that far, but maybe I could have if I didn't seek medical attention. So I really am an advocate for medical attention. Now, again, you don't want to stay there forever, right? I mean, unless, again, the greatest question of all, is it working for you? You do you, boo. Sometimes you could be a harm to yourself or others. And again, I didn't go that far because I was able to seek medical attention. Maybe I would have, God forbid, but medical attention is really important. Sometimes you need more than just the guidance or an accountability. Sometimes you need medical attention temporarily. And I always say, the greatest question of all, and I said it before, is it working for you? Is it working for you? If it's working for you, then you do you, boo. The point is, if it's not, then get help or let me help. That's how I say. Sometimes it's even hard for somebody to even get out of bed. I know I said that before. Sometimes just even making your bed is a goal. And sometimes you have to take baby steps, because grief can be really, really, really hard. Now, the thing that I like to remind, and again, I'm very delicate. First of all, because I'm not a medical professional, I have to be very careful and do my own assessment if, somebody, is ready for me, because I come on a little strong, right? And I'm here to remind you that, even though it's not easy to go from the lowest to the highest, and there's a lot of in between. And even on a daily, it's not humanly possible. And yeah, I'm Patti from New York. Coffee needs Patti. Ha ha ha. Listen, I'm normal too. Once I'm off, I'm off. I could veg out and just not say a word for hours. The thing is, it's normal to have ups and downs, ebbs and flows. You don't want to stay in any one way forever, right? And especially if it's the lowest vibration of all, unless you're getting your rest in your bed and you're sleeping. That's about the only time it really is beneficial to be doing nothing. To be doing nothing. The thing is, and I'll close up with this, and then I'll bring it back to you, Wise, is that this is the rough part. It's still a choice, and it's still possible. It's not easy, but that part, and that's the harsh part. That's the tough love, right? And I'm not so much into tough love. I'm just raw and real. I that's how I look at it, And so again, because emotions are instantaneously, the raw and real part, it's a choice. And it's up to you. And the more we build habits, that's how we make new conditions, right? It's conditioning, but we need to do it with habits, and one habit at a time, even if it's making your bed. Because for some people, that's a big task when you're at the lowest vibration, especially if you've been there for a while. Back to you, Wise.
Ooh, come on now. 24 karat gold bar dropped indeed. Folks, hit the comments. Go ahead and share your love to what we call Patti from New York. Throw some fire, throw some hearts in there, because I tell you right now, she is on fire. With that being said, I got a couple more questions I need to ask you, because we want to make sure we get these folks right for now. So this one question right here. How can people start living their legacy today instead of waiting for tomorrow?
You know how they could start living their legacy today? Again, the act of storytelling, creating memories, establishing traditions. These are just a few. A legacy is a natural part of grief. Legacy as a natural extension of grief, rather. Also becomes a journey of self-love. It's about self-love. And when you have self-love, your cup overfloweth. Your cup overfloweth. Now I'm going to bring a little God into it. And I just saw a beautiful, and I didn't make this up, but I'm going to just share the wealth of knowledge, and I talked about it today, ironically. Today I said the prayer. And again, MisYouGram is non-denominational. All are welcome, as long as you don't, project any harm or ill feelings to anybody. All are welcome. I love to love God out loud. That's kind of new. I shied away from it because I was concerned that people won't come because they practice different religions. There's a lot of religions in the world. As long as love, which is universal, you are welcome. You are welcome. And I love to talk about my God because it works for me. Again, the greatest question of all, is it working for you? Yeah, loving my God is working for me. And in Psalms 23, I don't know exactly what verse, but it's not that long, where, your cup will be full. It will overflow. That part. And it could only really come from self-love, from within. You might be able to fill me a little bit, but the overflow with that has to come from within, and everybody has the capacity. Again, it might not be easy, but yeah, everybody has the capacity. If you're in the land of the living, if you're in the land of the breathing, if your heart is beating, if you could think for yourself, you can do it. I say, I joke around, but there's so much truth to it. Let me just share this one quote that I put in here, and this is really
Okay.
important too. I know you know it. Always remember, you are miraculously made, and the only person who could speak in the first person and feel in the first person and remember in the first person. So own it proudly. That's what I got for you today. I really mean that, and that's what I got.
Oh, come on now. 24 karat gold bars dropped in the family. You definitely had to get this book right here because it just don't just give you information, it allow you to be able to write your thoughts out. She has sessions there that you can actually write. And as you read, you can go to the other segments where you can actually write and get your thoughts out. Open up in your grief, open up in your excitement, open up wealth the method, because everybody unique. That's one thing about Patti. She realized everybody unique. Like she said, she embracing herself, she embracing her faith, and she letting out. But at the same time, she said she understand everybody unique in their own way. And with the MisYouGram and with the legacy book and all this stuff, she put the platforms out there so people can grieve their way, which I think is so amazing. Well, like you said, you're not for everybody. Go ahead.
Guys, no, I'm not for everybody, and that. Thanks for letting me interject. I'm like a football player. I just intercept. Be a little annoying sometimes, but I mean well. The thing is, Wise. I want everybody to be very clear that this, for lack of better words, book. I call it a guide. It's a
Come on now.
It's a guidebook. It's just food for thought. Food for thought. Try it out. See if it works. Some ingredients, recipes. Spiritual recipes. That's how you. So when you get a cookbook, you're not gonna necessarily cook every recipe in a cookbook, right? You're gonna find a couple that you like, and you'll just go to. And that is testimony from people that have told me. Even and I feel safe to say, our friend April Whedon, who got my book, and she just loved one particular chapter, and she did feedback on Amazon. So that's why I feel safe to say I don't feel like now I'm telling private stuff. No, she posted it because she's so kind, and she posted feedback how she particularly liked one chapter, and that's maybe all you need. And I do want to say that, coming soon to theaters near you. No, not theaters, books near you.
Hey, we can do theaters, but go ahead.
Hey, you never know. But all kidding aside, I now have a newsletter that's going to be a year soon coming up. And I do have my own style. My titles are my style. That's what makes me stand out. And again, I bring spirituality, I bring science, I bring testimony, I bring a different perspective. I bring conversation that is a little sometimes maybe awkward, but it's okay because it's a catalyst. You might find one word in there or one sentence in there, but I don't have my news articles today, but I have a few thousand followers now on LinkedIn and my other channels for my newsletter, which I'm really excited because the feedback is so nice that now all those articles are going to be put in one book, and they're going to be a little bit more serious. Not that this book isn't serious, but it's an easy digestible book. This book is an easy read. You're not going to get overwhelmed because I found that this book is like when you're ready to recover. Okay, this is the type of book you only read when you are ready to take matters into your hands and you are ready to recover. If you're not ready to recover, that's cool. Again, I'm not a medical professional, but remember, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, before we start recovery with finding meaning and legacy, they're important. I don't know why. I didn't make up the world. I just know that medical professionals taught me as a certified end-of-life coach. That's why I'm so happy I became one, is because denial, what happens with denial, Wise? You know what happens with denial? Example, tragic car wreck.
Yes.
Your heart can't handle it. You need some denial. Can't handle it. Anger, you need to release. Can't bottle it up. Bargaining, you just want to fix it. Depression, measurement, contrast. We need it. Unfortunately, it's the only time we really grow and learn. Okay, as long as you don't stay there. Remember, is it working for you? Acceptance. Now you're getting somewhere. Finding meaning and legacy. Light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I got for you, Wise.
Come on now. 24 karat gold bars indeed. While you on the roll, I got 2 more questions for you. I want you to go ahead and answer this one because this is for the listeners. I want them to really get this one. So for our listeners who are currently dealing with loss, what is one powerful piece of advice you can share with them?
Talk about them. Talk about them, but not on that fatal day. If you do, for a moment, it's okay. But talk about them. Look at their photos. And I know people do, but some people don't. My father, he has a really hard time looking at a photograph. So what did Patti do? I made, and again, my father's still at the shop. Now, my mother worked almost till the day she passed. She ended up suffering heart failure, and the doctor said it's fatal. And 6 weeks later, she passed. So she didn't work the last 6 weeks of her life. But before that fatal day of her going to the ER room via emergency, the emergency calling 911, she worked, and she was at the shop. And she loved the shop. I mean, I used to joke around. I even said it in my speech at her memorial. Still think she loved the shop more than me. That's how much she loved the shop. So my father had a really hard time with the photos, right? Really, he just break down crying. He couldn't look at her photos. Couldn't look at. So I got a big, like this big, like really, really huge photo of my mother. And it's at the shop behind the desk. He loved it. I put it on canvas. He loves it. He loves it so much, And he laughed, and he was like, "Okay, cool." And she was the queen of the shop. I mean, until I was there. No, it was always mother daughter. That's another day, another dollar. It was a fun 33 and a half years. Let me tell you, because even though I was a 50-50 partner legally, and my name was on the store, I was her kid in the shop. I mean, it was always this tug and pull. We both loved our craft, so it always worked. That's why I stayed so long. And the only reason why I left is because I needed to give undivided attention to my clients and what I'm doing now. Because I'm also an international public speaker. I also was part of an anthology book that won a couple awards. And I'm really loving what I'm doing now because I'm seeing people get transformed. And my objective is that even when you come into my grief room, that you leave feeling better than when you came in, even if you started with a great day. And mission is pretty much on target, accomplished. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yes, I love it. And like you said, talk about it. Talk about them. And you just saw an example of what she meant. She talked about her mother. She talked about the great picture she left there for her father and how they embraced that transition. So take what she says and try for yourself. Everybody unique. But if you're looking for somebody who's going to be able to coach you through this process, I'm telling you, Patti from New York, she's one of the best.
So Wise, with that being said, let me just add a little caveat to that.
Okay.
Memories, if you're blessed and to have them, and really even Alzheimer's patients do have memories from years ago. They don't have short-term memory, but they have like this miraculous long-term memory. And the thing is, memories are treasure chests. The good memories. You it's a choice. Even if the bad memories come, you have the choice to say no. Next, I want that one back. It's a treasure chest. And nobody could take them away from you. And even if my mom was, this was the first Christmas one without my mom, and it wasn't easy. But I didn't stay there. I got the feelings, I felt the pain, I felt the measurement of love, and then I swipe right, left, whatever you want to call it. And then we were looking at funny pictures of my mom pretending to be Santa and making funny jokes. And then we laugh, it's like we missed her. And once I felt those feelings of pain of missing her, I just went and then we were talking about, her funny stories and the dishes we would have been eating. And the truth is, even if she was still in the land of the living, last Christmas is gone. Nobody could bring last Christmas back. Nobody, whether she was here or not. So those are memories that nobody could take away. Nobody could steal. Nobody could ever. I treasure them. They're a treasure chest. So that part.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. I know y'all feel the passion, fam. Definitely feel the passion. Go ahead and hit the comments. Let us know how you feel about that, how to be able to express how you deal with grief. How do you actually go through this process? And also hit the comments as well. Definitely do that. All right. This won't be the wise hour unless I ask this one question. And the question is, define the word life and what does life means to you?
Life is ever after. Life to me is here and now, and then, right? Life is your soul, your energy. It's infinite. Life for me is just your spirit. It's the living waters. That's life. Here on earth, well, it's a limited time offer. It's an experience, and it's fun. It's bittersweet. It's exciting. It's all of the above. It's just it's a mystery, and I love it.
And I love it too. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Patti. Now, with that being said, where can the people find you?
The people could find me pretty much everywhere. However, the easiest place would probably say just Google MissYouGram.com. That's MISS-U, the letter -GRAM, and then pick your choice. You're going to see Facebook, you're going to see LinkedIn, you're going to see TikTok, you're going to see Instagram, you're going to see my website, which I encourage you to go and subscribe to the free newsletter. Again, I'm always popping up with new resources. I'm also an Amazon influencer, so I share lifestyle recommendations, either because somebody told me that it's awesome, or I believe it's awesome because I have it myself. So that's where I could be found, pretty much everywhere on the internet.
I want to talk about it. The choice is yours, family. The choice is yours. Patti, we thank you for your opportunity, and we're going to bring you back because we got people who actually are dealing with grief and stuff, and I want to give a proper introduction to you and MishuGram. So when you come on the show next time, we're going to have some talking subjects and have some questions from that, and we want to make sure that we bring in a certified inner life coach to be able to help them through the situation. So we thank you so much for your time out of your productive schedule. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And this was amazing, time with Jay Malane Wise live here. Just an awesome time spent with you. Thank you. God bless.
Family. What's that 24 karat gold bars dropped in the Patti from New York? Come on now. With that energy, she brought those stories. Everything she talked about, she lived. And she had apps, she had websites, she got social media that will allow us to participate, to be able to share in our journey as we look at a way to move forward in life, even with loss and even in our grief process. So definitely check her out. Definitely go to all her resources and be able to participate in those. Trust me, it will change your life. Also, family, I have a book. It's entire where it's a memoir about my life, but it's more than a memoir. It's a book that allows you to reflect. If you're dealing with anxiety, depression, you're dealing with life situations, especially as a youth, especially going through young adult and even adult, this book right here will allow you to actually think beyond your current situations and give you hope and opportunity there. So definitely, definitely go to the link and order your digital copy today. Also, fam, I do have a merch line. So go to this website link and go ahead and purchase a shirt. Where you can purchase, understand where you are. Then also I have a shirt with 24 karat gold bars dropped in deed. So that's a great way to support the Wise Hour. So definitely pick up a t-shirt as soon as possible. Any size. You got men and women, go ahead and make that thing happen. So we appreciate you, fam. Thank you for that. All right, fam. You know what I'm going to say. Love is an action word. While you're taking the time to love yourself, make sure you show love to someone else. All right, family. Make sure you have an amazing weekend. We'll look forward to see you on the next The Wise Hour. So take care and peace.
Feeling lost in the crowd, hard-headed, just a bit loud, but searching for a brighter day. In the mist, find our way. Pain shadows every move, struggle trying to improve. Hope whispers in my ear, telling me the way to feel. Breaking free, living the life indeed. Breaking free, set to rise, dreams that we chase, no time to waste. Voices calling out my name, time to break out from the same. Chains fall away like rain, freedom never felt this way. Heartbeats they can believe, planting courage like a seed. On this path we'll unite, in the darkness find the light. Breaking free, living the life indeed. Breaking free, set to rise, dreams that we chase, no time to waste. Breaking free, living the life indeed. Breaking free, set to rise, dreams that we chase, no time to waste. Voices calling out my name, time to break out from the same. Chains fall away like rain, freedom never felt this way. Heartbeats they can believe, planting courage like a seed. On this path we'll unite, in the